Hello, this is J.N.S, and I want to cover this epic interview of Cat Williams. Obviously, he did this interview. I want to say, was it 2 days ago with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, and it was epic. It was an awesome interview. I've always enjoyed Cat Williams. I've always been a fan of Cat Williams for years, like many of us has been. I've always respected how he did his own thing independent and how he didn't cut corners to get where he was at. I've always respected how he spoke the truth. Um, and at times even to his detriment, but he always stood on principle. And I've always respected that about Cat Williams. And for me, he was always in my top five as far as comedians. So obviously when this interview comes out, I'm like, oh my gosh, Cat Williams, he hasn't done one of these interviews in a minute of this caliber. And then obviously this interview goes viral, and he talked about so many things though. It was so many things that he talked about, of course his own story. So we got insight into his own story of triumph from being in a situation that where he had to grind from the bottom up, homelessness, all types of things that we can relate to, as well as keeping that faith in yourself, belief in yourself, mastering your craft, believing in yourself. Like all of those things were, for first off, I want to say that those were things we really should have took from the interview. Besides all the salaciousness and the juiciness and how him letting that chopper spray on motherfuckers, like all of that's great, But I do want to say first and foremost, for those, on a more serious tip, that interview was very enriching for those of us, that's still in that grind mode, still trying to climb up the ladder for ourselves in terms of development and even building our own empires with our own passions. And so in the comedian world, Cat Williams was able to do that, you know. And so his story was very inspiring to me. Um, we got just a deeper insight into his journey from moving to, LA and then Sacramento. And what else did he was in Oakland. Um, I believe he said he was in Florida. So it was just, for one, this the being able to listen to him, his story spoke volumes. But now we're also going to get into the spiritual gems that he gave out, as well as some of the the drama as well, because that obviously is what went viral. And so to me, what was so fascinating about Cat Williams, what I've always got from him spiritually, is that he always knew what day and time we were in. He always knew that shit. And on some level that resonated with me. On some level, like even when I was unaware of things, and when I didn't have a full understanding of what this system was all about, I've always gravitated towards Cat Williams. Let's not act like we didn't watch those comedic YouTube clips of him talking about like them parties and Hollywood and what you got to do, and the Illuminati and all that. Like we saw those things. Those used to go viral, years ago. And then notice around that time, that's when they started saying he was on drugs and he was crazy. They started arresting him everywhere. Every other day, he was getting arrested in Target for punching somebody, and that's what they was doing. What happens is when you start speaking out the truth, it's like mobbing mentality, where they'll put you in predicaments to either where you react so they can arrest your ass, and that's why he kept getting arrested. He kept obviously you have decision and choices, and you're responsible for your own choices as well, but a lot of times they'll send plants and all types of people in your way to kind of antagonize you so that you can react foolishly, so that you can most likely be locked up or put yourself in a horrific situation. And so that's why Cat Williams kept getting arrested and whatnot, and even people picking fights with him. He even got jumped by some high schoolers or some shit like that. That ain't got nothing to do with the interview, But I'm just reminiscing of on Cat Williams in terms of like just knowing what I saw over the years. And I just remember always thinking, I'm like, because I always knew that's what was going on with him too. I said, oh yeah, they trying to do the thing they said about Dave Chappelle, like, oh, he crazy, he doing drugs. I never believed it. I have to say, I never believed the drugs thing. I think I knew he was smoking that weed. I remember thinking that. But I do remember like had this heavy campaign. They were really going in on him as far as the machine and trying to trying to turn public opinion against him, so that we didn't listen to any of his words of wisdoms and gems, or even respect his talent, or even see him as one of the greatest, in terms of his craft of comedy, of writing, of material, and so they wanted us to be overlook all of that and just see, Cat Williams as some drugged out, he crazy, he this, he that, he don't know what he talking about, because he started spraying Hollywood, and so I never was with it. I ain't gonna hold you. I never bought into that. I never bought into this he's crazy shit. But what was really important to me, as far as what stood out, is the things he said in code. Well, not in code, but just the things he said that I know people probably think they just take it as something light, but it's dead ass serious. You know, the first thing that I want to talk about that he said was um, God's army and the other side. And he said this is what this is about. That it's not about race and about you know and that's very true in his day and age. That is very true in his day and age. It's God's army, and then it's the other side. And he said, and we don't care nothing about the other side. And he said, this is what this is all about. And this is why he has been going through all the things that he has been going through. Because for one, he talked about the shortcuts. He didn't take any shortcuts. He's not untalented. He didn't fucking suck his way to the top. He didn't hijack other people's talents and harness people's energies by sacrificing motherfuckers and all this stuff. And so that's why I always fuck with Cat Williams, because I always knew that about him. I'm like, he stands on principle. And me personally, I can relate to that, because again, there is a thing where you can take a shortcut. There is a thing where they can offer you a deal and you'll never have to work again. Or you can just have sex with somebody and get put on. That's real. Like, we all know that. Like, that's just common knowledge. That should be common knowledge for the average human now, in terms of that entertainment industry. It's a very sleazy ass business. It's a very exploitative business and predatory to men and women. It's soul sucking. And so for Cat Williams, who has natural talent, and for anybody, there's so many people that got natural talent, natural fucking gifts, and they have to contend with the fact of, okay, how far you willing to go in that system or in that industry, before you walk away, or how name your price, and also what's your integrity level, what's your dignity level, what's your pride level, what's your belief in yourself level, where you can go get it on your own level. And that's where Cat Williams was. He was one of them niggas that he knew going in, I can get it by myself. I can work twice as hard. I could put in the work. I don't have to take the shortcuts. I got the talent. I got the genius. I got the mind, and I'll build it up. And it will come, whether it comes slower or whether it come, through different means. But the manifestation and the fruition of the goal will come. And so that's what Cat Williams really should also that's what he was really trying to get us to understand. And that's really what we should take from this, for those of us that got natural talent. We may not be in the comedic industry, but for those for who I'm talking about, like, there's many of us that are naturally talented, that have close dealings with entertainment industry, or studying it, or trying to find ways to get our information out there, and the work that we do. But we see ourselves that We're not willing to take them shortcuts. We're not willing to take them shortcuts or sign some weird ass fucking unfair deal or suck some dick to get put on. It's just not happening. Or do some weird ass ritual or sacrifice some family or something. Like some of us, that those ideas sound foreign to us. So it's like, well, if I got the talent and I do the merit, then I should be, eventually the universe will reward you for it. That is the law of the universe. You put in the work, you got the talent, you got the gifts that God gave you, you following your passions, you're mastering your craft, and eventually it's going to come to pass. That is how theoretically it would be in this world. What you see on planet Earth is, for those of us that got all this talent and gifts, what they'll do is, okay, you won't play ball, you won't sign this, you won't do that, then they'll try to blackball you or blacklist you, just like they did baby girl Monique, just like they try to do with Katt Williams, just like they do with so many people. So, what I've took from this interview is the resounding effects of gratitude for gifts from God, as well as taking those shortcuts. Don't take those shortcuts. Believe in yourself and put in that work. And I understand what he's saying. I understood his frustration. People try to call him jealous and bitter and all that. No, I don't believe that shit at all. I know what it's like for people to try to hijack off your talent. And I think they were doing that to him, stealing his jokes. I believe it. I believe it. I believe that they were jealous of him because he wasn't sucking no dick like the rest of them for no deal or for no contract or putting on no dress. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe him. I'm not saying I believe, like everything, because people have a pinch for hyperbolic dramatism. I don't think that necessarily about Katt Williams. I think for the most part, and for 99% of what he was saying, it was spot on, and maybe 1% it might have been for some dramatic effects. But other than that, I believe everything he said. I really do, because he ain't saying shit that we didn't already know or suspect. He's confirming it for us. He's validating those of us who already had those suspicions about that industry. He's encouraging us to go the way of believing in yourself, putting in the work for yourself, taking those shortcuts. And like he said, it's God army and it's the other side. And that's the day and age that we are in. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what I feel that energy. I feel that. And that's why that interview went so viral, because he's coming as one of God's chosen ones. He's coming as a chosen one. And had to go up against a beast, a machine that been trying to knock him out. I know they try to kill him. I already see that in the spiritual realm, that they've tried to kill him multiple times. And he keeps going. He keeps getting up. He keeps doing his thing. He keeps telling the truth. He keeps mastering his craft. He keeps focusing on his own self. He keeps helping people as well and inspiring people. And so I know that he had to deal with a swarm, a behemoth of jealousy from treacherous ass niggas that you would think gonna help you or think you're gonna put you on or think, I already know he had to deal with that shit. I know they were stealing his content and trying to study his style and copy his swag, but couldn't do it. They try to write, they can't write like him. I believe that as well. Because I know what it's like, because people do it to me. I'm very small. Like, I'm not saying I'm well known or anything, but I know that think tanks study me, and I do know that people with way bigger followings than me, that they copy my content and never give me credit, and they'll watch and they'll do stuff, and I have timestamps to prove that. I see it. I see it. And so I know I've gotten on the radar of certain people, and then and what happens is, if your information or your body of work, or even your chi, your prana, is so powerful, the best thing to do with certain people, if they're not going to play ball, is to ignore them. So that's what they do to me. But then they try to steal the content. But the thing is, the thing is, I knew that was going to happen to me, and so I put everything in books. I put all of my theories, all of my original intellectual property. I published it. I copyrighted it, and so it's hard to. It made it harder. It makes it harder to steal and bite off of my content. Now, I'm not trying to compare myself to Cat Williams in any sense or try to make it seem like I'm just some big person that someone wants to steal stuff. I'm not doing that. But I'm saying I know for a fact that people do the same thing to me. And so I know I can look at somebody that is a part of the chosen ones and know that that's what the hell they going through as well. And Cat Williams is definitely one of those people. I knew that before he even did that interview, that he had that light, that aura, and they tried to snatch it all out, snatched it all away from him. He saw the okey doke for what it was, followed God, continued to follow his beliefs and his principles, and worked around and found the way outside of it. But not without peril, not without them giving him hell, not without them trying to kill him, and not without them sabotaging, trying to, you know? And so I respect Cat Williams speaking truth to power. Um, I was listening to one of the brothers. I watch his. He started his YouTube stuff, and he's more on YouTube now. His name's Mark Lamont Hill, and and I have been listening to him for a while. For years, probably close to 10, 11 years. Um, since the Huff Post days. But anyways, I was listening to his video on his take on the Cat Williams thing today, and he was like, "Was it worth it? Was it worth spraying, letting the chopper out on like Diddy and the names he named Cedric, Steve Harvey?" And I have to say, from my perspective, yes, it was absolutely worth it. Like, why not? To what end? In terms of Cat Williams, given this holistic interview, not just of obviously the drama aspect of it, but he totally got into, we totally was able to see his genius and his charisma and get his side of the story. And, did he tell a lot of information on certain people? Yes. Did it need to be behind the scenes? Like you were like, you know, he should have just been able to get like Steve Harvey or Cedric or whatever on the phone behind the scenes. It would have to be out in public. He don't fuck with them niggas. He don't fuck with them. So he don't have any intentions on mending or building with a nigga like that, with niggas like that. So yeah, he sprayed him out in public. I know what that feels like to be around. I'm telling you, like I know that energy that he had to deal with, that fake ass energy, that treacherous nigga energy. And you don't want to handle nothing out behind those scenes with them. You ain't gonna work with them or be friends with them because they treacherous, jealous niggas. So I already, yeah, it's worth calling them out. Steve Harvey, you saw what Steve Harvey did to Monique, how he sat up on that show and tried to gaslight that woman, and no, did nobody stand up for that woman? And he sat up there and said, what do integrity is not going to feed my family. Integrity doesn't put food on the table. That's what he told Monique, Mark. So yeah, it's worth calling out a nigga like that. For years, everybody calling him the king of comedy and taking these shortcuts. I don't respect niggas that take shortcuts. And so yeah, he needs to call it out because humanity needs to see that yeah, we shouldn't be putting people that take shortcuts on no pedestal. We shouldn't be putting people that put on dresses for deals and let they ass get rammed through for money. We shouldn't be putting them on pedestals. No, we shouldn't. We should be putting the people with the real talent out on. I get it. Y'all can call him bitter. Y'all can call him resentful and angry. He got a right to be. I know what it's like. I know it because I'm dealing with the same shit with these niggas, with people like that, with jealous ass treacherous niggas. And so I don't see anything that he said or did as wrong. Nothing. The only thing I think that I might have disagreed with was his take on the Kanye West situation, because I feel like it should have been a little more nuanced. But then again, I'm just biased, and maybe that could be for me my years growing up of being a little girl, being a Kanye West fan. Shit, that could just be bias. I don't know. I still haven't unpacked all of that psychologically. I know for a fact that I listened to College Dropout and Graduation, and and unregistered and all that stuff for years, for years and years upon years, like know every lyric. So perhaps, even though eventually I did take a break from Kanye West, I know that those albums impacted my life as a little kid, as a little girl, and I think that I'm just one of those people that get it, that has cost, not cost sunk fallacy, but because that's a little harsh. That I wouldn't say that when it comes to Kanye West, that is that. I just think that um I'll ride out. If I fuck with you, I'll ride out with you. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not a yes man. I don't mean I agree with everything, but if I fuck with you and you impacted me or you enrich my life in a way, even if it's just through an album, even if it's just through the music, there are plenty of things that I've learned from Kanye and Cat Williams, and so is on a deep spiritual level that impacted me in my personal life. And so it's hard for me to to um to abandon or to just I won't say denigrate, but just to just dismiss when they do something wrong, or sometimes I do make I over excuse things. I'll turn a blind eye. Maybe I do that. Maybe that's problematic. I can own up to that. I can definitely own up to that. That I have to grow in that. I have to grow out of that. Perhaps, maybe not. But with Cat Williams, I don't see anything that he did as wrong in that interview. He was right to call them treacherous niggas out and untalented shortcut taking niggas out. He was right to call them out. Um, and I'm not saying they don't have talent. I can't say Steve Harvey don't have talent or nothing like that, or these brothers ain't got no talent or work ethic or not. I would not do that. I won't even say that about Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart has talent. Um, I just to me, I take a radical approach. You know, um, that's just in my blood. If I see something that does not math, that is not logical, that is not going to benefit overall society, I'm most likely going to speak out against it. So what I don't like about that predatory, ridiculous industry is that other people don't call it out, and they'll go along to get along, or they'll go to the next level by doing whatever is asked of them. And so for me personally, I don't like that. And so I guess that's why I'm on the Cat Williams camp, because I know for a fact that with somebody that's analytical like my mind, I always study. I've been studying that industry for a long time, and I'm like, why ain't nobody sticking up? Why y'all not standing up? Like, why are y'all just going along with the casting couch stuff? With like what happened? And so when I see a bunch of brothers, not speak out against that. Matter of fact, I'll share this. When I see a bunch of brothers doing this, yeah, I'm gonna have a problem. I'll share it right now. I just had it pulled up too, but I'm gonna ride on the side of Cat Williams with that. Speak up. They're putting all these brothers in the dress and stuff, and that's not homophobia, Mark. Like him calling out that ritual and that obsession with putting the black man in dress, or putting the men in dresses, period, for comedic value. What's funny about that? What is funny about, like, how is that the most comedic thing in the world? How? How is that so funny where we need to put it in every fucking movie plot? Every fucking movie plot, Mark? No. Look at this. Like, what's funny about this? How is this comedy? How is this something that the black man needs to be seen as? And this is Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi is very, very talented. Well, he been through the ringer in that industry, and let's not act like that's not a humiliation ritual. Let's not act like that's not what that is. I know I've been through a humiliation ritual. I know what that shit is. Look at this. CeeLo Green, producer. In what context is this funny? In what context is this even warranted? He's not a comedian, Mark. He's not even an actor, Mark. He's a fucking music producer. Why is he in a dress with a man on his shoulder, the white man in a tuxedo and the black man in a dress? He's married to a woman. In what context is it funny? In what context is it warranted? In what context is it necessary? In what context is it even logical? This is not homophobia. This is coming from a bisexual woman questioning this shit myself. Look at this. In what context is this funny? This is not an actor. This is not a comedian. This is a football player, Mark. It's not. It is a ritual. This is something. You could call it a conspiracy, but Katt Williams was right to call this shit out. Wesley Snipes. Is that Wesley Snipes? And he put on his dress, and they still blackballed his motherfucking ass when he wanted to start the Nubia. What was it? The Nubian. What was the Amin Ra Security and Amin Ra Productions and start doing his own producing and start doing his own independence. Nigga, you signed the contract too late, homeboy. Too late. They pulled it all away. Next thing you know, IRS with the taxes, throw your ass in jail. This is what they do. Now, had he did Amin Ra Productions and did all that outside of that, they couldn't have fucked with him. They couldn't touch him. But once you get in and sign on to agree to have them entities be able to enter into your chakras, and you get in that deep with them people, then they'll pull the plug. They can pull the plug just like they did with Jonathan Majors. Okay. And Jonathan Major, he was all the way on the top. He had it all figured out, right? Marvel and everything, like Katt Williams was saying. And and next thing you know, they probably try to put his ass in a dress. Just like they tried the first humiliation ritual where they had him, all perked up with lips perking and with the pink on, sitting up with the, and I think that was a bridge too far for him then. And I think, they was building up the ammunition. He said, okay, they always throw the white women's at you. And the black man still ain't figured that out in that industry. So throw the white men, throw the drugs and alcohol. Good God. And so then, whatever they had told him to do, he said no. And they said, okay, nigga, everything going. Movie, blah, blah, blah. 4 charges overnight on your ass. We don't care if the bitch was following, chasing you and running you all around a neighborhood. Nope. Because you already know. Now, he said for his integrity, he'll never speak out on it because they could probably kill him. But for him, Jonathan Majors, that was a bridge too far. Whatever they was asking him to do, and they asking him to do whether this the sex magic booty ritual, or it's the dress, or it's something, and he said no, or it's something private that me and you would never know, the public would never know. Well, whatever it was, he said, hell no. And next thing you know, arrested, 4 charges, and dropped from the movies, dropped from your agency, dropped by your lawyer, come on, man. And so, I just wish we stopped playing dumb. Why are we acting like we don't know what this is all about at this time? Dave Chappelle talks about it. He tried to wake it up. Kevin Hart said, I'm not wearing no dress. Then they offered it to you. Then you wore it. And then you say you had a choice. And like Katt Williams said, you didn't put it on before they came and told you to put it on. You put it on after they offered you certain X amounts of dollars or certain X amount of deal. Then you put it on. And you said, well, I guess my integrity, Certain, and then I think it was, oh man, as a black man, he's an actor. He did some. Oh, he's a good actor too. Maybe I can find his photo somewhere. And he was talking about this. He don't really do much movies anymore either. Damn. Let me see if I can find him. Brandon, is it Brandon T. Jackson? It is him. Because he put on a dress too, but he spoke out about, let me share this dude right here. I don't know if you guys remember, he did I don't know if he got a YouTube channel, but I saw it was a video he did where he was talking about why they wanted to always put the black man in dress. And he was one of the ones that put on a dress. But I think obviously he didn't have any knowledge and, but obviously he had regret doing this because he spoke out about it. And he was saying certain bloodlines, like particularly this Black American bloodline. Now, I don't care. You don't have to believe it or not. He spoke out about this and talked about how they want to put a certain genetic marker in a bloodline because they know the covenant and the dimension that they come from and what it does once you put this particular bloodline in a dress. Yes, they also do it to some white males because it transcends race. It's a bloodline. It's a particular bloodline that they target. to put on the dress for the males. Obviously, this is more melanated men, though. It is more black men. It is more black American men. Then you see here now, then they put a white male in a dress. But by and large, it is black men of a certain bloodline. They don't sit up there and put all them Africans in dresses either. Or all, they go after a certain, and this brother talked about it. I respected that because he was one of the only ones to actually talk about the bloodline aspect of it, of certain black men, of putting them black men in. See, as you can see, read between the motherfucking lines. Okay? And he talked about it. I'm just putting the code out. He talked about how they put a certain bloodline that they know who the people belong to, and they know who they are. They know more about the bloodline through the natal chart and gematria than the average black American. You going into Hollywood hungry and desperate and dumb and wanting some money or whatever, and they know you do cast and couch. Maybe you say no a couple of times. Maybe you do everything by the book and don't do the shortcut or whatever. And you work up through your talent and through your bankability, your marketability, and you get up there to a certain level, and then they come with this dress shit. Okay? This dress thing. And what Brandon T. Jackson was saying, that it is a certain bloodline that they target with that, because they know deeper knowledge. And again, the people that run that industry are very much aware of who's who once they get, because you don't get in there without them knowing who you are. They know your gematria, they know your genealogy, they know your natal chart. Absolutely. Before you even step foot in there. Some people have more powerful energy and prana than others. Some people have more chi than others. Sometimes your energy is so powerful, they are very frightened by you, very scared of you, or they want to see how they can harness and take all of your talent and gifts off of you. That's what that industry does. A lot of times, if you got some powerful backing, it's not going to work. And those who become aware of who they are, it won't work anyways. So for Brandon T. Jackson to come out and say that, about, how he regretted putting that on and how he didn't know any better as far as that dress and what it was all about and how much it was a ritual, based on certain targeting of the bloodline. I believe that. I believe it. I believe it. And I don't think it's a bad take to have on it. I don't think it's a bad take to have on it at all. But, with Katt Williams, he's one of the ones with that light. He's one of the ones, like he said, it's God's army and then it's the other side. And that is why that interview is viral. That is why so many of you guys were drawn to even watching it, because it's time. We're in 2024. It's about to be, y'all talking about how Katt Williams let the chopper spray. It's 2024. This whole year about to be a chopper spray. It's about to be like, I'm telling you, it's the whole motherfucking year. It's about to be revelation after revelation, epiphany after epiphany, exposure after exposure, truth after truth, justice after justice, enlightenment after enlightenment, prophecy after prophecy. It is going down like no other year. Is 8, the year of 8, the year of infinity. Many people are going to be very prosperous. Many people are going to start to work for themselves. Many people are going to get motherfucking karma and justice. It's the year of Saturn, 8, infinity. So it's a very, very powerful year. Okay? And it's going to be like this for the whole year. Banger after banger. Buckle your motherfucking seatbelt. Buckle your seatbelt. Because that's just how it's going to be. There is no more inauthenticity. There is no more fake going along to get along. None of that shit. All of that is getting sprayed out in 2024. It's getting sprayed out by the universe. Sprayed out by Mother God herself, Creator God. Because your evolution has been too slow in terms of your consciousness. Evolution of consciousness has been too slow for the pace of the universe. You're already left behind from all of the constellations in terms of planet Earth. Sun Ra tried to warn us about that in the 70s. In the song Discipline. It's Discipline 27. He talked about, what are you so afraid of? Why are y'all you so left behind? Like, you know, and people thought, Sun Ra's crazy, Sun Ra's eccentric, Sun Ra, he just think he from Saturn. Nah, that nigga was a prophet. He really tried to wake some stuff up. I love Sun Ra. He been saying everything he said in the 80s and in the 90s and in the 70s is all coming to pass. We in the age of the space age. Yep, we in the space age. Now, he was saying that 40, 50 years ago, and everybody thought he just was, oh, okay. He want to wear them little weird old outfits and play that jazz music and talk about he from Saturn. He was just way ahead of his time, that's all. Yeah, but 2024, it's going down. It's going down. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy and grateful for niggas like Katt Williams, because it's been a long time coming, because people like me, we've been waking it up and we've been trying, and then we don't have we don't have that influence that he has. So when he gets up there and says the things he was saying on a more global stage like that, it really vindicates a lot of us that have already been saying this stuff, and a lot of us that had suspicions of what was going on in that industry, as well as our own resentment for it, you know. And so I'm never gonna take that away from Cat Williams. Now, as far as like, did we get to see his genius, and did we get to see? Yes, we got to see his genius. Cat Williams said that he quantified the ability of the funny factor. He was able to actually objectively quantify that through analysis of watching every comedy artist, every comedian show 10 times a piece, and then counting the numbers of laughs. And then using that as a catalyst as a gauge to develop his own craft in terms of monitoring how many times the crowd laughs, counting how funnier, like, that's a level of genius. That's a level of mastery that few people, and even discipline that few people get to. That's like when he said that, my mind, I said, whew. He watched every comedian's show 10 times a piece, and studied their jokes, study their writing, study their laughs. So he knows comedy. When he says a motherfucker is not funny, they're probably not funny. When he says a motherfucker is funny, they probably are funny. And so to me, that stood out to me. That actually, honestly, these were the things that stood out to me. When he quantified them shows like that, and objectively this came up with his own mechanism to determine who's the funniest in comedy. I thought that was genius. When he talked about shortcuts, not taking them shortcuts, and believing in your own talent, and with God's army in the other side. And then obviously the Bernie Mac codes that he put out, because we know Bernie Mac was murdered by them jealous ass treacherous niggas, and they set him up as a sacrifice, and that's why he called him out, Mark. That's the real reason why Cat Williams went and sprayed his hammer at them, and then gave it all the praise and all of the real accolade back to who it belonged to, which was Bernie Mac. He's speaking in code. Bernie Mac tried to wake a lot of shit up. He pulled them all to the side and talked about them cloning facilities. Yep. Let's wake it up. Cat Williams ain't go that deep in that interview. He ain't talking, because they really would have been like, "Oh, shut it down." But Bernie Mac was talking about them damn cloning facilities, and was talking about how he saw his clone, and it freaked him out, and Trump went to the other black gatekeeper, other black niggas who he thought was powerful, like that can, what are we doing about this? What are we gonna do about this? We need to do something. And they looking like, nigga, we focused on our bag. So yeah, you're gonna cause problems, Bernie. And yeah, and you're a threat, because you're actually like competition. You're like a threat. And so we're gonna tell, and we're gonna work with that power structure and with those malevolent energies to get your ass out and take your ass out. And since they say he got the pneumonia. Hmm. Hmm. I'm a spiritual intuitive. I can see all through that. I know that's not what happened. Now, whew, good God. Mm-mm-mm. And so that's why Cat Williams was going so hard like that, because he know and he didn't care, because he know that them old ass niggas, um, the Cedrics and the and he know what they did to Bernie Mac. That's how it worked. And it's all the cult. It's all esoteric. So it wasn't like it was like, oh, you can actually prove that he was murdered or he was this. Nah, that's not how it worked. That's not how a death spell ritual work. That's not how act. I ain't gonna get into all of that. Mm-mm. But that's not how it works. And so that's why he was so upset about that. Because I think he knows about the deeper aspects of how it all works. Because they try to do the same shit to me. And that's why, and you can hear some of the resentment and anger even in my voice, because them motherfuckers try to do the same shit to me. Not those particular figures, obviously, not those particular uh, actors, but I'm just talking about black treacherous ass niggas that get jealous of other people's talent and that want to go to the next level off of the energy of somebody else's back by sacrificing them, or by trying to get them in a fucking shitty ass deal where your intellectual property or your work becomes theirs. And that's why Cat Williams was saying, he's like, I let people shine. And Cat Williams was like, I don't make them try to try to sign they stuff over to him. And I respect that. And that's another reason why I fuck with Cat Williams. Because he didn't try to do that to other people. When he see other people trying to get on, or other people with talent, he didn't exploit them. He didn't try to put them in no janky ass, crazy ass contracts where they can't get no shine, or they can't, everything they do, people do these things, and you know that. And it's so horrendous. And I'm telling you, because people try to do it to me. And I guess his story just resonates so strongly with me. It resonates so, and it's very inspiring. I don't know how old Cat Williams is, in the 50s now, 40s now, 50, 40s. I'm in my 30s. I'm about to be 32. I'm 31. And so I learned a lot from Cat Williams' story. And even just from his character, you know? And so him talking about his the things he went through with the homelessness, the resentment towards the entertainment, blasting at the casting couch, focusing on telling us how he focuses on his craft, how he build his craft, how he writes, his process for creating. To me, all of that was just such a very inspirational. I gotta turn this heat down. That was such a whew, that was such a inspirational interview. It really was. It really was. It really was. Another thing that I thought about Cat Williams, and this is something I just want to talk with Cat Williams about himself. But like when he said he wanted to be God's friend, when Shannon asked him about, like, why did you adopt 7 kids? And he said, if there was a God, like, what would that God think of you? That was a very deep philosophical, rhetorical question to ask. Obviously, he believes in God, but it's like that was such a deep ass thing to say. Like, if there was, like, what would they think of someone adopting 7 kids in terms of karmic debt, of alleviation of that on the other side, and what it when he said he wanted to be God's friend. And that was so profound to me too. That was so profound. And those are the moments that for certain spirits of a certain evolution of a spirit, that kind of stuff doesn't get over on our heads, Mark. And so when you say, like, well, now the stuff about him talking about these people is overshadowing the other aspects of the depth of the interview itself. No, it doesn't. If people are at a certain level and it does, then it does. But for you, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't. And so that's all that matters. Why we people are at where they at. They get what they get because it's subliminal programming, and everything you listen to is a program. And so they sat and watched that whole 2 hour and 46 minute video, and they listened to that whole thing. And even if they do remember just the drama parts of it, you don't think that other gems that he dropped stuck in their subconscious mind? Sure it did. Sure it did. About not taking a shortcut, about mastering your craft as whatever you take on in life, perseverance, faith, uh, justice, truth, speaking the truth, being honest about your story. People are inspired by that. It doesn't matter what he said, well, who he called out, what name he dropped. I don't give a fuck about that because I know for a fact the key part that stuck out to me is when he talked about being God's friend and God's army on the other side. For me, as a spiritual intuitive, as a prophet, as an entity, that to me is what I took away from the whole damn interview. Yeah, I heard the names and stuff. I thought it was juicy or whatever, but I always like to hear the more deeps. I'm just more of a serious person, anyways. I try to take the stick out my ass, whatever people say, lighten up, whatever. I'm working on it, but generally in my spiritual life, in my private life, I am generally a very serious, astute person. Just that's just my lifestyle. It's a lifestyle for me as a priestess. I live a very stoic, monastic lifestyle. I'm a lone wolf. I'm very introverted. I don't get off on interacting. I find I still have hope that humanity generally is good, but I've also dealt with a lot of ridiculous, deceptive, jealous, treacherous niggas. And so I don't like to be around a lot of people. Um, I don't. I'm not an energy vampire. I'm an energy generator. So I don't like a lot of people around me. I like to stay to myself. I like to and I'm more studious than anything else in my life. I have a very simple life. I don't have anything elaborate going on. A very very simple life. And I like to be peaceful. I like it to be peaceful in my mind, and I'm curious. They said curious, not curious George, but curiosity killed the cat. Sometimes that's I can kind of really get it, very very curious and precocious. Uh, a kid, a woman rather, but I was like that as a kid too. But for me, those are the things I took from Cat Williams. Being God's friend, he adopted them seven children, Negro children. And I thought that was so beautiful because, to be honest, and I'm talking to Cat Williams right now, Cat Williams, because I assess energy and I assess spirits on people. I can see I don't necessarily see a color of an aura or nothing like that. I'm just saying I can see energies on people, um the rims that they come from sometimes. Not all people. I'm just saying certain people, God will allow me to see that. It doesn't even have to be everybody. Some people I don't get a read on. Some people I don't care to be looking all into that. Some people it can't, I just see it no matter what. Even I can't try to turn it off. And Cat Williams is one of those people. Cat Williams and Kanye West, for me, for whatever reason, those are two people that I know are just those are people that God shows me stuff about them, even if I don't want to see it. Particularly Kanye West. Like, I don't know. I don't like the way I've come off. Like, you would think I'm one of his diehard fans or whatever, and I am a fan. Growing up, I am a fan, but for whatever reason, it's much deeper. It's much deeper than just artists, a celebrity type thing. It is me actually being able to see some of their past lives, some of their spirits on them, soul stuff I don't even want to see. Like, some stuff I'm like, oh, I don't want to see that. Why do I have to see that? And then some stuff, with some people, it's I don't get that with everybody. I don't get that with everybody. I just get that with certain souls, certain people. I look at their energy and I see a whole bunch of stuff on them, whole bunch of things that I can see, a whole bunch of Usually good for that, and that's cool. That's a good thing. You know, um, but Cat Williams was always one of those people. That's why they was running around calling him crazy and trying to showing him getting punched out in Target. Was he punch? No, he was punching somebody in Target. He punched somebody in Target. When they were showing all of that and showing him getting stumped out by he was getting stumped out on stage. And all, I just remember thinking, I said, "Oh, okay." They doing the discrediting campaign, and then they do the make you look crazy campaign. Then they do the mobbing where they'll send antagonizers your way so that you actually can react in a way to get your ass locked up. They do that shit all the time. Like that's the number one go to is to put antagonizers, and they do this to regular humans too. It's not gang stalking. It's not mobbing either, but it's a program that they do where certain people that they try to, if they know that if they know you haven't mastered your emotions, and they know some of your Achilles heels and some of your that you're emotional, that you're gonna react. Oh hell yeah, they'll send, and it happens all the time. I know, I've seen it in my life. I've seen where they'll purposely have somebody start something with somebody in a public scene, public arena, where they know they're gonna go off, slap the motherfucker, punch the person, and then out you getting arrested. Happens all the time to Black Americans. And so, and granted, yes, you have choice and accountability and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, like, for those of us of the chosen ones, this is what they do to the chosen ones. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's just one of the methods. It's not the only method. It's just one, and that's the one that they was using on Katt Williams a lot. Like, we know he a hothead. We know if you disrespect him, he gonna slap the shit out of you. They know these things about people, and so that was one of the ones he did. But back to Katt Williams, being a single father, standing on principle, and so for what I see on him is he has so much of that the God energy. Now, we are still in the age, we're coming out of a Piscean age where people still see God as a male. Um, uh, and so eventually, what I'm saying, probably a couple hundred years from now will make sense when it becomes more evident. Where when humanity actually catches up with the way the universe actually works, they'll see that what I'm saying is not so far fetched or foreign. But for now, when I talk about Katt Williams having the energy of the primordial mother, the energy of the God of God on him, I'm talking very specifically. How do I explain this without sounding, out there? But he has a lot of God's spirit on him, our great mother. And that is why Katt Williams' energy is so old. It's an old, ancient energy. Like when he talks, like not when he's on his comedy thing. I'm talking about when he's serious, when he talks about children in particular. When he talks about children, when he talks about women, when he talks about, you look at the eyes of Katt Williams, you see a lot of this mysticism that you can see, that I can see personally as a spiritual intuitive, and the energy of God, and that is a very, very much a matronly, like ancient grandmother energy. Katt Williams, and I know everybody say God is God. He's this. God is he. He's got to go. Whatever, but the energy that's on Katt Williams, that is very much, you know, that the one that would adopt that seven kids. He adopts seven kids as a single father. And he takes care of those kids, teaching them, cooking their food, doing all that. This is something that is his energy. He was actually born to do that. like him, it's something he enjoys. Is being good with children, teaching children. God gave him that gift too. That's also a gift of his. That's a gift of his. Is ministering to children and uh fathering children, and being a good father to children, attentive to children, protective of children. that was something that God gave, as another part of his gifts. And so when he says, he wanted to be God's friend, and that's why he did that. Um, it's probably obviously not the only reason, but that was one of the things he said. That is that to me it speaks volumes on a much deeper level for me. I can't describe in words how that makes me feel in terms of someone articulating that in that sense. Because when I was a little girl, 5 years old in kindergarten, they asked everybody, what do they want to be when they grow up? Who do they want to be when they grow up? And when it came my turn, I said something similar to that. You know, I said I want to be Christ. I want to be like Christ. I want to be close to God. That's what I said at 5 years old. I didn't have no conception of a job, like a career. Come on, at 5, come on. I just remember knowing like I'm going to be close to God. Like that's what I want to be. And then that's when like I was in kindergarten and the teacher, she pulled me to the side. She said, you can do that now. You could do that now. And at 5 years old, I said, really? And that's when I was introduced to religion. But I had my own conceptions of that outside of religion that I had formulated even as a young girl. But like I know what that feeling is like when he says like I want to be friends with God. I want to be close to God. I want God's favor and I don't want that favor to ever leave. That type of thing. That's pretty much what he was saying. And so I can relate to that. And that's so that, to me, that's a very powerful thing to say. I said that at 5 years old when they asked everybody in the classroom in kindergarten, what you want to be when you grow up? Everybody said dentist, doctor, uh, was it firefighter? And no lie, I had said that. I had never forgot that either. I never ever forgot that. I said that. And I think about it. I think about like some of the steps of my life and how it turned out, and even how it's turning out, rather, right? Turning out, and my natal chart in my gematria, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, like that meme they show with that little black boy doing the whoa with that little dance that he do. Oh, what's that? That's that meme. I wish I could find that meme. I probably can. Let me see if I can Google it. Whoa, meme black. Some black boy. Oh man, I thought that would be the first thing that pop up. It's such a popular meme that they always show. So it's a real popular meme. Oh, here we go, right here. I found it. This meme right here of this black boy. This is how I be like almost every day in the spiritual realm. Like that's how I be. Oh, I don't think I'm sharing it. Here we go. This is how I be in the spiritual realm when I be talking with God. Like and when I think about like, even my own life with my gematria and natal chart, and me saying what I said at 5 years old, and now with some of the revelation and the information I've been given privy to as a spiritual intuitive, and the things I've been blessed to know. Maybe people say cursed to know, because some of the things I know are so ahead of my time. I've talked to the average person and they just think your ass just went bonkers. They just think you're just crazy. And so sometimes it could be looked at that. The beautiful thing is that I decided to be born in 1992, and so it's 2024 now. And so you know, those who talk like how I'm talking, we're not looked at as crashing out anymore, because the average human is going to be talking just like how we talking, because they can see the same shit too now. Like you just saw what happened in Miami, what they talking about in Miami with the Nephilim and the 8-10 feet creature and stuff. And I was like, oh, that just took off such a heavy burden off of me, a load off, because I had been talking about that stuff since 2021 with the 8 to 10 feet creature and all that shit. And Nephilim and falling, and I'm just like, oh man, I think I'm a little too early, and then that comes out and go viral today, and so I'm like, I don't think it's a psyop, I don't think it's a distraction. I think that again, the power of humanity is pushing that stuff forward, but that was not the distraction. The Epstein list, that was the distraction. The Epstein stuff. That other stuff that happened in Miami, that was never supposed to get out to the public. That was not supposed to go viral like that. That wasn't. I'm telling you, they shut my stream down twice for even talking about it today. And so that stuff was not supposed to go viral at all. That was a fluke. That was humanity being humanity. And again, that's why they freaking out about that, because it's like you guys just figure out a way to start questioning, and things just start going trending and stuff. But that story was not supposed to. You notice it's out after the Epstein list and all that stuff was released. It's not a big deal. Like that was the stuff that was supposed to cover that. That y'all supposed to still be focused on the Epstein and dragging in politicians and dragging them. That's supposed to be the stuff you focus on. That Miami story, that was not supposed to get out. You were supposed to really think that it was some teenagers fighting with sticks in the Miami mall. And that was supposed to be the end of it. And it will pretty much they shut it down. They shut it down. You ain't gonna hear too much about it. It's just that that's a viral organic thing from humans, just from their discourse and their curiosity. But it's not if you ask me, it's not a distraction or anything. It's not a distraction at all. Nope. But yeah, that Cat Williams interview, man, that was a wild one. I liked how he was standing up for manhood. I liked how he talked about the casting couch, the rituals of putting a black man in a dress, about keeping God's covering on us in these last days. And this is a transitioning phase for us, for this earth. It's a transitioning phase. And we are in these last days, and keeping that covering on us is very important. Covering the Ori, balancing of the chakras, however you want to look at it. However you keeping your aura up, maintaining frequency, however you want to look at it, all that shit is important in 2024 and beyond. It's been important. It's just more so important, more than ever now. And it's a great thing because you won't have to work as hard as you had to in the past because of the veil being so thin, because of the particular frequencies and energies that is being more promulgated or proliferated rather on planet Earth. Higher vibrations, higher vibrational beings, higher vibrational entities that can drown out the energies of millions of people, quite literally, just with their presence alone, just from their vibration being at 1000 hertz, 800 hertz, 500 hertz. Their minds and their spirits are more powerful than 10 million people that are in fear consciousness, 10 million people that are in hate consciousness, that have hate in their heart, they have jealousy in their heart. They're the person with that's at a 500 frequency, even 600, 700, 800, whatever hertz of frequency, they can drown out millions of people that are at a low vibration. And so that's a contagious energy. And so other people pick up on that. And then you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and more people that operates at 1000 hertz or 800 hertz. What does that do to the planet? And so that's what's happening. And that's what's happening. Another thing I like that Cat Williams did is he called out P. Diddy. A lot of you niggas have been scared to call out P. Diddy. A lot of you niggas, acting like we got to defend it, acting like they just coming down on the black man and P. Diddy, we need to go defend. No. P. Diddy screwed over so many people, and we all heard about it, and we all know about it. And so chickens come home to roost. As far as what he said about Steve Harvey, I don't like how Steve Harvey did Monique. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know nothing about Cedric the Entertainer and who else did he talk about? Martin Lawrence. I don't know nothing about that. But I don't like how Steve Harvey did Monique. I don't like that. No, I don't. And so I think it's worth talking about. I appreciate what he did for Melba Moore. get sponsoring her star like that, paying that 75K for her star on Hollywood. I thought that was dope. And another thing that he said that was quite chilling, and you know, to me was when he said the number one job of Hollywood for those who sold their soul is to pretend that it never happened. That was deep, because I had always picked up on that energy as a psychic intuitive. Like I study in that industry, I said they hiding something. They're hiding something very sinister. Growing up, like I could always feel that. And didn't quite know what it was, or sometimes you just want to tone it out. But I had always felt that they are hiding something that they did that they are ashamed of, or that they know and it's supposed to be a secret or something like that. That was so obvious to me. I picked up on that uh very young in life. And so when he said that, I said, "Oh yeah, that's their number one job." You could feel it even when you watch the Oscars, and when you watch it, and they be sitting and they be in that room together, and they be looking at each other and all that. I'm telling you, it just reeks. That's why I haven't watched the Oscars and the Grammys in a minute. But I remember when I was younger, I used to watch the Oscars, and I had always felt that energy. I'm telling you, I said, "Oh, it's something real dark in there. It's something real shameful, dishonorable," and not because of not everybody did that. Like, like you can't say everybody is like doing the casting couch. Everybody did. No, people is these motherfuckers that's really talented. It's people that are successful, and they on their own merits, and they, you know what I mean. So I'm not taking that away from anybody, because here's the thing: in that entertainment industry, there are a lot of genuinely talented people, anyways. It's that it's motherfuckers that won't put you on or give you your fair due unless you do something degrading. And then there are just untalented motherfuckers. But no, there are people that are really, really talented. And it's like, you mean to tell me the only way I can shine or share my God given talent is if I suck your motherfucking dick? And this is what is happening in that industry. And so some people, they say, well, I'm already gifted and talented. This is all I love and this is all I know. And so if that's what I have to do to get this to do what I would love full time and get paid for it and to provide for my family, then that's what I'll do. This is what some people are thinking. I'm not saying I don't think like that. I'm just trying to tell you, like, this is what people communicate through their aura to me when I'm studying their energy psychically. And so I'm not judging some of the people that had to be put in those predicaments. You know what I mean? I do judge the niggas like the Weinstein and all that. Like, that's ridiculous. I judge the predators, that will do that. The P Diddy's forcing your artists into freak offs, or else they can't sing and can't get their deal, whatever. That's just fucked up. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. I know what it's like to be a talented motherfucker that's brilliant and genius, and to have vultures try to steal from you, kill you, or put you in them type of predicaments where they want you sucking dick, or they want you got to do this to get this, or you got to do that to get this. That's how it go. And so when I say I was watching them Oscar show when I was younger, and I was picking that energy up, and I didn't know nothing about no casting couch at the time. I could just feel it. I'm looking around at the actors, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in that industry? You can pick that up. And so when he said the number one job of Hollywood for those who sold their souls to pretend it never happened. And it's true. It's true in that industry. It's true. I don't know if you guys remember that interview with Kevin Hart and Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson was like, it's people that offer me millions and millions and millions of dollars to do things that I didn't even want to do. And I'm like, what? And Kevin hurried up and shut it up. He said, shut up. He said, shush, 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 shush. And she said, oh, I'm talking too much. Is that what happened to you too? I'm like, he was looking like, dude, you don't shut the fuck up. You about to get us all in trouble. That's how he was looking. And so that's what he did. And so, I understand Katt Williams' resentment towards, the entertainment business. I have resentment towards the entertainment business in Hollywood. I do. Because I've studied how they go, and I see how they, and I actually, even towards the political, the political, and machine as well. Like, I have resentment towards that, because I see how people will vulture, jealousy, bite, try to set you up, sacrifice you, all types of shit. I seen it firsthand myself. And so I don't you know, judge Cat Williams for expressing that resentment at all. How he said he walked away from $450 million deals. I believe it. After that Friday After Next shit and them stand up shows he was doing, he was. Let's not act like he wasn't that nigga. Like when Money Mike came out with the Friday After Next, and I know that whole movie by heart back. I no lie. If you play Friday After Next right now, from beginning to end, I know the lines to that movie because that movie came out when I was 9 years old, and every Christmas I would watch it. When it came out, me and my family, we were sit on the couch and watch that movie over and over again. Um, like it was funny as hell to us. It was a funny movie. I like Next Friday and Friday, but I would have to say Next Friday and Friday After Next. Friday After Next, I ain't gonna hold you. Well, my favorite. Oh, that was that movie was something else. And no lie, I know that from the beginning to the end. It comes on, it's like because I have not photographic memory, but audio, something whatever the memory where you got audio, where you could hear something once and you know it for the rest of your life or some shit like that. Whatever that is with photographic memory with the audio sense, that's how my mind is when I see that movie. And so every time it come on, I actually start just saying the lines, and it get annoying if people watch that movie around me because they gonna be like, "Shut up! Like, why are you saying the lines to, to the whole movie?" But that thing was epic. Money Mike character, uh, obviously, that was Cat Williams, but that role was epic at that time, and I remember when he blew up. I remember his blow up. I remember, I believe he even came to Buffalo for a comedy show, and my family went to go see the comedy show, if I'm not mistaken. Cat Williams, he did a tour in Buffalo, and he came to Buffalo, I believe. As I remember his name being mentioned so much in Buffalo at one point, so I do think he did a tour there. He came to visit, and because I remember it was all the rave. It was all the rave back then, and so I know for a fact, that they probably did offer him. They probably did offer him the $450 million deals, and but like he said, Weinstein asked him to suck his penis in front of his whole agency. That kind of disrespect like that, to ask another man to do that shit to you, a black man at that. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. That make anybody want to slap the hell out of somebody. That make anybody rage. Like that's so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. And so I understand his anger. I totally understand his anger. Like, and I think it's warranted. And I think somebody need to call it out. It's about motherfucking time. It's 2024. I've been telling y'all, even in that tarot that I just did on the last day of 2023, I told y'all this stuff is going to be coming out. That industry is getting their ass tore out the frame. And it's not because of the artist, because again, they just caught up in something that could be deeper than them. Yes, people selling their soul, and yes, people that sacrificing their family and doing all types of stupid shit and whatever. But there are vulnerable people that's been exploited. There are people that's just naturally fucking talented that got caught up in stuff way over their heads, like Prince. Like you got people that just got God given talent, God given gifts, and they can't get a shake, and they trying to get a shake. And then you got a motherfucker ass telling you got to suck their dick to get on. Like that's just fucked up. And then you in a fucking compromising position because now they got a contract in front of your eyes that may say 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. What are you gonna do? You gonna put on a dress or not? So now they putting people in these compromising ass positions, and you thinking like, hmm. That's I'm just saying like what some people would do. And so it's things got to change. Things have to change around here. Shit, if you got God given talent, you got the merit and the work ethic, the universe should reward your ass. You should be able to get your shine and your due and the appreciation for your gifts and as a gifted person. Why do you have to do something degrading for that? Why do you have to sign something ridiculous for that? Why do you have to lowball yourself? Why do you have to sacrifice your family member or somebody for that? That's stupid as hell. And so whoever set that up, it's a shame. It's quite shameful. It's quite fucking shameful. But on a lighter note, Cat Williams, I definitely respect everything that you said in that interview. I think that, you know, we got a lot to learn from, excuse me, as society, especially as of those of you that are men. Cat, you have to walk away from that interview thinking, don't take them shortcuts. Develop and master your craft. Don't take shortcuts. That's what I took from it. Is I haven't taken any shortcuts and it is slower. I have been offered a shortcut. Sure. Multiple times. I've been offered a shortcut. I remember he said, you said, um, there's people that can put you on where you never had to work again, or people you just go, it can happen. Certain people with certain knowledge base and certain intellectual gifts, certain gifts in general, music gifts, athletic gifts, there's shortcuts even for those who aren't gifted. You know, I've been offered a shortcut and it didn't feel right. Some didn't feel right, and then again, I can see things spiritually. I'm very, very, very intuitive. Um, Now, as far as my psychic abilities, if I use the cards, my psychic abilities are more balanced out. But a lot of times, I don't need those cards. However, sometimes characters and events won't play out um, in the same time, or characters can be swapped in the events. And so, for me, I do prefer to have a divining tool. But a lot of my stuff, I don't need the tools. There have been times where I will see the dreams, it come true, or God themselves will tell me. God herself will say, "This is da 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 da," and it'll be spot on. It'll be spot on. If I get if my energy is unbalanced, then I can start to you know get the events messed up. But that's why I like my cards. That's why I do like to do the cards. But for me, when it come to me, when people come with me with that energy, I could feel that. I could feel when something it don't feel right. It don't it's not adding up. It seems deceptive. And so for me, I just walk away. I just say, well, I'll just go the long route. Just focus on myself, focus on my own IPU, focus on my own IPU. Because if you wait for other people to help you, or if you wait for other people to recognize your greatness and try to put you on or give you a hand up, it's most likely not going to come in that industry. No, even a political industry, entertainment industry, academic industry, it's most likely not going to come, because those motherfuckers going to see you as competition and they're going to be jealous of you. And so their best bet is to ignore you or to get you out the paint. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. I know for a fact that Cat Williams is dealing with jealousy, and I know that gifted people in general who deal with jealousy from treacherous ass niggas, white and black. It don't even be about, oh, it's the white man doing this to us, and then I know it's black niggas too. That's actually sometimes worse. In my case, they were worse to me. Like, these motherfuckers literally try to set me up and kill me. So, like, nah, nah, mm-mm. I get why he's the way he is, and another thing that I took that I'm still got to see for myself from the Cat Williams interview is when he said that when they asked him about what's your favorite city to tour in, and he said there are much more. He didn't give an answer, but he said there are so many people in the world that's still good, and there's so many people in every city that are generally overwhelmingly good from his time of living on this planet and seeing that for himself. Um, that was insightful for me, I have to say, him saying that, because I haven't seen that in my experiences of living, and even the situations that have happened within the last 2 years with me, with the people around me that surrounded me. And I'm thinking friends, family, I'm thinking, with me, if I ride with you, if I fuck with you, I'm gonna ride with you. And if you know, with me, I can be very, I was at that time of my life, I was very, very naive when people were coming around me. and saying how brilliant I am, how genius I am, how they're going to help me, how we need to do this, how they we going. I've had people, oh, we need to do a show together. I need to offer you a show. Did I? And I'm thinking, oh, like I'm really thinking like people really fuck with you, like people really just are. I was just naive, just so naive. Um, and that's not how it. That wasn't what that was. That was, and so from, and maybe some of them people really were, maybe I'm sure some of them were, but at that time, particularly like when I on Clubhouse, when I started building a brand on Clubhouse, for like being more teaching and scholarship and reparationists, and all that stuff. But I just know that people were surrounding me at that time, and I really thought that they were just wanting to be genuine friends. Like when I got on Clubhouse and when I actually came to the public, I remember asking God, like I said, I just want to build a network of friends. And I just remember saying, I just want to build a network of friends, like a good friend. I didn't say good friends. I said just a network of friends. And it seemed like at that point I was getting that, but like I don't think I set any parameters around the word friend. And so it's like, okay, well, friend, that could be fake friend, that could be what is friend? Like what is that? Like what is what is the root word or the intention behind friend? What is the emotion behind friend? And what I thought I was getting, I don't know, I don't know, I didn't quite get that. I got a bunch of motherfuckers like surrounding me, um, in a way, but it wasn't friend. It wasn't a real friend. It wasn't genuine friends. And so that I still continuing like, what was that about? What they, from the periods of 2021 to the mid 2023, you know, I just like, what happened? Like, why did, And so when Cat Williams was saying there's so many people in the world that's still good and most humans are good, to me, and actually him saying that, there's been two other people that have said that this week around the same time in the span of a 2-day period. And so I truly believe that that's God trying to communicate with me to hold on. I truly believe that because I had given up completely, like not obviously on myself, but humanity, like looking at like just that naivete that I had and that whimsicalness that I had about connection and humans and humanity. Like from what I've been through from 2020 to 2021, actually I've been going through a while. I just had no awareness, but I started it really um, since 2022 to mid 2023 was when I really started to become aware of things, of what was going on with me in particular, and the people around me and their deception. Like that shit that took me out, man. I ain't even gonna hold you. That was enough to have all your friends, to have your family setting you up to sacrifice your ass, and have your friends and the shit involved in it, and they working with the government, they working with like that to me just that kind of, it didn't break me because I know how to transmute energy, but it did change me. It did. Like I don't let people get close to me. As you figure, if your own family could do that to you, anybody would do that to you. Anybody. And so, him saying that twice, I mean, him saying that, and then two other people from different avenues saying that in a period of 2 days, I really do think that that's God communicating to me, like, you can't just write off people. You can't be like that, with every human. There's still good people out here. And maybe that's true, but to me, for what I'm seeing and the way that, and I think that it could be the situation I was born into in terms of the stuff that you guys know what I talk about. I talk to you guys about as far as my upbringing and the things that had been revealed and things that have been quite. It's not even just been revealed through intuition. It's like stuff that I had uncovered from the very people in my life. And so, you know, for me, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm good on. I've always been introverted, anyways. But like, uh, that's something I got to work on. I admit that. I admit that. I mean, you let your family deceive you and see how that feels. The people close to you that you think love you. Can you imagine like the people you think that are closest to you that you really love you and they really setting your ass up to sell you down the motherfucking river? And when they can't find out, they get so ravenously uh, unraveled where they just literally try to kill you. Can you imagine that? So, yeah, like for me, I'm kind of like, and then they got these networks, and again, my folks, they belong in a secret society, they do belong in an order. Now, one claim he walked away or whatever, but I know for a fact that that the connections they have to the military and to other things in that and Satanism and all that stuff. I know what my family got involved with. They can deny it. They always do. They always do. That's the number one thing you're supposed to do if you're in a secret society is to deny anything that you deny it. But I know what I've experienced, what I went through, and what I saw with my own two motherfucking eyes, and what was revealed in divine, and how people reacted, how people treated me, and reacted when I didn't want to go, when I found out what they were trying to do to me. And I'm like, oh hell no, hell no. And so that shit changes you forever, man. And so if I come off short with people, I know people email me, people, and it's nothing personal. It's just that I don't trust nobody. I don't. And I'm not so keen to let people get close to me. And so that's just where I'm at with it. And that could be offensive to people, but I don't. I'm telling you, and I have been warned. Like most people that I've been dealing with lately, they've just been deceivers. They've been deceivers. They've been deceptive. And so I'm not one to just go into a situation blindly. I'm not just openly going to trust you. I'm not just openly going to just throw caution to the wind. No, mm-mm, nope, no way. And it will change. But Cat Williams saying that, that there's still some good people out there. I'm gonna hold on. You got to have that discernment, but you don't want to go into paranoia either. I'm not necessarily, I'm not paranoid. I think I'm overly suspicious, though. I can admit that. I think I'm overly suspicious, and my discernment, um, is on 10. Like I think that I just, if something don't add up, I pay attention to it. And most people are not. I'm not trying to brag, but most, because you can't underestimate people's depravity, right? People's jealousy and people's deceitfulness. But most people, this was a brilliant comment that a Black American wrote me the other day. And I think that I really do be thinking like, I don't know who be sending people. Like God be sending people to just say certain things that's just gonna speak and minister to my soul. But the other day, some guy wrote me and said, a wolf in sheep's clothing will always." There. How did he say it? A wolf in sheep's clothing mask will always slip anytime you try to assert boundary, and that is an excellent, excellent, excellent quote, because that helps your discernment. Seeing how somebody react to you asserting a boundary, uh, and when you tell them good news, when you tell them bad news, all of those things, all of those reactions, when you really get down on your luck, the reaction of the people around you, that's how you gonna really really be able to tell. That's your discernment litmus test right there. But your real discernment litmus test is that mask is gonna motherfucking slip anytime you assert a boundary. That's how the devil is. For those who, especially for anybody trying to get in the entertainment industry, that's your litmus test. A wolf's in sheep's clothing mask is always gonna slip whenever you assert a boundary. So anybody going into that entertainment industry, that's your key. Once you assert a boundary and that mask slip, or they turn into, they really reveal to you who they are. And that's what Lucifer did to me. I said, "Oh hell no, that shit is real." I'm like, "Hell no, 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 no." They kind and friendly and all that stuff, and then as soon as you say no, as soon as you be like, "What?" and they just turn into a whole fucking beast on your ass. That's what they turn into, a whole beast, because you won't let them dog you out, because you won't let them sacrifice you, because you won't let them uh, put you in no fucked up ass contract. This is what people would do. Then they'll dog you out and throw you to the wolves and think they're gonna laugh over you. That's how wicked they are. I've seen that wickedness of that industry. I've seen it. The political people, the politicians, the people in the secret societies. I've seen that wickedness. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've still seen it. I still see the wickedness that they do. So it is what it is. I'm about to get off of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.